Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, February 5th, 2025 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is, it is my responsibility what I feed my vibration. So, it's always a choice where we're feeding our attention and therefore our vibration. And as I was looking at the astro and I was like, I don't know what I'm meant to be talking about today. There's nothing that's really jumping out at me. And then suddenly, poop, spirit download was like, hello, moon in Taurus. This is about values. The whole day has the moon in Taurus engaging, reminding us that we always can pay our attention, feed our attention into what we value. And we have to recognize how often we pay our attention, feed our attention into negative possibilities, worries, fears, what could be happening, what is happening. And again, there's time and place and space for all of that. But if we're occupying our time 100% with that, it's going to continue to generate that. If we can remember to feed what we value, it will literally feed and fuel that energy. And so moon in Taurus today making the rounds, connecting with the sun, Saturn, Mars, Uranus, and Neptune before moving into Gemini late in the evening, is reminding us to pay our attention, feed that attention into our values. So we start off with the sun and the moon in a square. And so like that square might be that reminder as you're like feeling from engaging in all of the shenanigans that are unfolding right now and all of the fear around the shenanigans that are happening right now. You may really feel that vibe. So think about what is important to you. What are the important things? And can you lean into that vibe? Now, I will say that the day starts off a little, we still have Venus at 0 for the first part of the day. And so we're waiting for Venus to hit that 1 degree and be like, Grace, okay, here it is, right? So again, if you're feeling the wonk, it's okay. Feel the wonk, but then remind yourself, we're all here for a reason. We're all here to bring our personal frequency vibration. And part of that is aligning with our highest values. And my highest value is love, kindness. I actually hold the vibe of silliness pretty high on my vibe of values. And so I really do try to engage those energies. So as we continue on, the moon in Taurus connecting to Saturn. Now this is still, middle of the night for many of us. Middle of the morning, I guess. Middle of the sleepy part of the morning. So you may have some of the some of that responsibility. But again, part of the responsibility is, where are you aligning your focus? Where are you aligning your energy? What are you looking at most? Where are you feeding your attention? Moon Mars is how we're kind of waking up in the morning. So moon in Taurus, Mars in Cancer, it's a little muddy, that energy that can bring stuff up to the surface. Mars is still hanging out in its retrograde energy for the next, it's about just under 3 weeks. 3 more weeks of this Mars retrograde. And so it's a little bit slow. So if you can, give yourself the time to be slow. Yesterday's scope of find the balance between the go, go, go and the slow, 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 that still works today in these energies as we're working our way through this Sun Taurus, where we're like, okay, here's reality, but here's the vision. And we're going to find a balance and know that everything's unfolding that was the other thing. God is always on time. Everything's folding in divine timing. Everything's folding on time. We're just really impatient to get there out of the muck. So, With the moon and Mars, you may feel some feelings coming to the surface as part of the Mars. So again, you may wake up in your feels. So watch for that. And again, allow the experience, but know you can then shift it. The day is then going to be connected to Moon Uranus energy. It's at 11:10 a.m., but you know, we're going to just make that 11:11 a.m. Why not? Why not? Because it'll still be happening at 11:11 a.m. So Moon Uranus, anytime we have Uranus energy, it likes to get a little pokey. It likes to show us where we may be feeling a little triggered, where we have work to do. And again, look at where you're feeling triggered, but how can you align this with what you value? And why are you, well, if you're feeling triggered, is it because you've been ignoring something that you value, right? So watch for that. And then we have Moon Neptune. We move into the lazy cat. Now that's not till the evening. Like we have kind of a big expanse between those connections. So lazy cat in the evening, having us curl up, rest. Hopefully rest is a high value priority because it definitely goes hand in hand with health. Where we can visualize and connect in and remind ourselves that we are all portals to bring goodness. We are all portals to bring the light. We are all portals to be part of the co-creation of bringing heaven to earth. Now, I know it feels so far from that right now. I know. And yet, we can bring it in. Now, the moon will move into Gemini 10:44 p.m. Pacific time. So that is going to amplify the mental vibes and the air vibes. And this is why, again, refocusing on your values is going to help with that. Because once Moon in Gemini comes in, it's like whirlpools of information start coming in. And we start picking up even more so on the mind fields. And sometimes the mind fields float something delightful our way. Like a little, you know, pink elephant cloud in the sky. But a lot of times, it brings us a lot of the minutia that's happening out there, and the fear that's wrapped up in it, and the anger and the hostility. And again, there's a time to look at it. I like to stay afloat on everything that's happening and tuning into it, and I give it as much energy as I can before I have to return to me and my path and where my focus is called to be. And so it's just figuring out what that is for each of us. The cards are interesting. I think that today is one of those choose your own adventure kind of days. We had these two together. The nothingness, which to be fair is a pure potentiality and a wonderful card, but we're just kind of looking at the energy of these. Suppression and the nothingness. So just kind of down in a hole kind of energy. And then we have comparison in the middle. And then we have abundance and experiencing abundance or down in a hole. We can compare the two, right? Or we can choose to embrace this. Now this card I love because it's a reminder to have one foot in the physical and one foot in the spiritual and find what that balance is for each of us. And this engages where we need to show up and do the work, but where we also need to lean into pleasure. And the experiencing card reminds us, like everything that we're experiencing, a lot of, you know, our own judgment around good or bad, instead of staying curious, like what is happening? What is happening? What is actually happening? What is this? Where's spirit in this? Can help and can help direct us where we are called to show up. But, you know, you don't have to get stuck in the comparison. You can choose. But if you're feeling the suppression, are you focusing too much on the physical? Are you focusing too much on the spiritual? Where are you out of balance? And where are you judging the experiencing as something where you maybe need to shift a little? Now I pulled Cat Chaos cards. This might be part of February, Cat Chaos. And these two came out together, and I like them together. Embracing freedom. So hopefully freedom is another part of beautiful values. And how can you embrace this energy of freedom? And maybe even looking, you know, these cards have these beautiful birds and beautiful lights in them. Listening for the messages that are coming in. Now that might be a little advance on Moon moving into Gemini, Jupiter now direct in Gemini, but paying attention to the lessons coming in. And even just looking at the back of these these cards. Wow, gorgeous cards. Looking for the light, but also watching for where the emotional tides might be knocking you over, and you need to like find your footing, 1 foot in the spiritual, 1 foot in the physical, and rebalance. So lessons all the way around. So that's it for today. You can book a reading. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And may your guiding light be strong, and you can trust the unfolding process. And remember that you and me, we are the solution. Namaste.